Howdy, y'all. I know what you're thinking. Why would I take a Slann with a command trait or an artifact? Why would I even take a Slann when we've got Lord Kroak? Valid question. I, so, we're going to continue the video series where we're looking at the best command traits and artifacts to go with our different heroes. This one is about the Slann. Now, I think that is a valid question of why would you load out a Slann with valuable command traits and artifacts. So let's get to that question first. I think that the reason you might do that is because there's some lists where you just can't fit Kroak in. He's another 60 points. You just may not have that. And the Slann can still fulfill a lot of those roles that he does. Slanns can still generate a lot of command points. Slanns are still great casters and unbinders. They can control that magic phase really well. They have some great spells that they can cast and some synergies that go with our army. Another reason might be you have some friends that are just tired of facing the Kroak bomb of Kroak, Ashloth Bear, Guard, Balewind, the non-player experiences they talk about where you set up your Kroak and just destroy everyone. So maybe you want to have a friendly game, still have a competitive list. There's some ways that you can field the Slann that are still pretty good. And we're going to look at that today as we look at some of the command traits and artifacts. So let's get into it. Let's look at first the Slann command traits. Arcane Might. You can reroll one casting, dispelling, or unbinding roll for this general each hero phase. This one right here is my favorite. We're starting off with what I think is the best command trait for a Slann. Slanns already get board-wide unbinds, which is pretty awesome. They're natively +1 to cast an unbind. And then you can use the Sacred Asterisms, the Sage's Staff, for another +1. So now you've got a Slann at +2 to cast a spell and unbind, and he gets to re-roll one of those in your hero phase and re-roll an unbind in the enemy's hero phase. This actually makes it very good for taking away or getting out that one spell that you really, really want. And so I've taken this a couple times when you just absolutely have to have that board-wide comet that's going out, or you have a bound endless spell that you really want on the table turn one. So with I use bound burning head a lot. And so I will try to cast that, and I want to make sure I cast that. And so if I don't roll well, I have a reroll sitting here from my Slann to make sure I get that out. If I don't need it for there, then I can wait and re-roll something else if I need it. So very good command trait here, re-rolling one of your spell casts. It's pretty awesome, especially when we can pump up our spell casts. Makes it real strong. Number 2, Vast Intellect. This general knows one extra spell from the lore of Celestial Domination. This one, I'd probably rate it as maybe a B, because our spell lore is good. It's not great. And a Slann can already change their spell at the end of the hero phase. And so I find myself always coming to the table, usually with Stellar Tempest, just in case I'm facing hordes. And I'm going to change it to a different spell based on the situation. This will kind of make it to where you don't have to, because you can take 2 spells. And it helps with a Slann who, a lot of times I find I'm not casting every single one of his spells. Usually I'm casting the Comet, I'm casting an Endless Spell, and then I've got another cast that I'm if I'm in range, I'm casting Stellar Tempest, my spell lore, or if nothing's in range, then Mystic Shield or Arcane Bolt if something's in range. So this does help you kind of get around that. I would probably end up taking, Stellar Tempest and the healing spell. Or if I've got multiple casters, maybe the one that gives me another +1 to cast for all the other wizards. So it has its uses. I don't think it's quite as useful as Arcane Might. Third one, Great Remember. If this journal is part of your army and on the battlefield at the start of your hero phase, roll a dice on a 4-up, you receive 1 extra command point. This one actually is kind of works his points back up. Now, Kroak, one of the things I love about taking just like a solo Kroak is he's got those 3 chances at extra command points. A normal Slann has 2. With Great Remember, you have 3 now. So now you're getting that same command point generation that Kroak is getting for 60 points less. And so this is a good one. Great Remember, especially if you've got a list that you're wanting to burn through a lot of command points. Maybe say Thunder Lizards. You need a Slann in your list for, say, an Engine of the Gods, this is a great one to give you that extra command point generation in the list. So I like this one. I give it an A. Free command points. Always a good thing because we love command points in Seraphim. So those are the command traits. Let's look at the ones for the subfactions. The only one that's going to apply to Slann is the one in Dracothian's Tale. Ancient Knowledge. This general knows one extra spell from the lore of Celestial Domination. In addition, you can re-roll one casting, dispelling, or unbinding roll for this general each hero phase. That's correct. You heard this right. This is literally Arcane Might and Vast Intellect rolled into one. You get 2 command points for the price of 1. So if you're taking Dracothian's Tale, which is the subfaction where you can deploy a bunch of stuff turn 1, or anywhere from turn 1 to turn 4, within range of your Slann, pretty cool subfaction. This has an awesome command trait for your Slann. So pretty good in that he gets an extra spell and he's re-rolling one of those. So I like that. 2 and 1, can't beat that. Dracothian's Tale. Fangs Sotek, Kotal's Claw, Thunder Lizards. You're likely to have a Slann or a Kroak in just about every list, but you don't have to take a command trait from that subfaction. You can get out of it if you're making Slann your general. In those cases, you can pick one of these, Arcane Might, Great Remember, depending on what your needs are. Let's look at the artifacts. What are the artifacts for the Slann? So we're going all in. We're giving him our command trait, and we're giving him an artifact, or maybe we've got a battalion and we don't have another good hero to put an artifact on. Is there something here that we can add to the Slann that's worthwhile? I'm not going to read through all these because we do have 6 options here. The Skinks and the Saurus only had 3, but the Slann has 6. And as you look through some of these, I'm kind of wishing that some of these were on either the Skink or the Saurus chart for their artifacts. But first one is Zodiac Dial. This one is it harkens back to the old, I think it was Zodiac Dial in the previous battle tome, and you pick a battle round, and at the start of that battle round you heal all wounds allocated to the bearer and you get to reroll your saves. Unfortunately, it's kind of random because you know what you're picking, but you don't know if you're going to have any wounds that turn. You don't know if he's going to be in range of being shot that turn or attacked in melee. So you have a 1 in 5 chance that this is going to be useful. So in my book, this is an F. I will never take this. There's always something better to take. If you just so happen to get lucky that he's not killed, he's got wounds on him at the beginning of that round, then maybe it's worthwhile. But if this was just simply changed to once per game, like at the beginning of the battle round, you heal all wounds and you can reroll your saves that battle round, then it might be worth taking. But as is, you have to decide what round beforehand. No, not taking this one. F. The second one, Light of Dracothian. This is once per battle, you can automatically unbind 1 spell cast by an enemy wizard within 15, or automatically dispel 1 endless spell within 15. I mean, it's not bad, but a Slann is generally never going to be within 15 of an enemy wizard unless something has gone seriously wrong. My Slann or my Kroak, well, these all have to go on a Slann. My Slann is always at the back of the board. He's hidden. He's out of range. I don't want him in combat. I don't want him close to the enemy. And so generally, he's not going to be within 15 inches of another wizard. He might be within 15 of an endless spell, but I think there's better ways to dispel endless spell than wasting a slot on an artifact. So we'll go with a C. Next one, Prism of something or other. I'm not going to remember. Once per battle at the start of any phase, pick 1 enemy unit within 12 of the bearer and roll a dice. On a 1, they suffer 1 mortal wound. I'm not even going to read the rest of this. No, I'm not taking this. I don't want my Slann within 12 inches of anybody, of any enemies. And then you don't know what it's going to do. It's going to do anywhere from 1 to D6 mortal wounds, which could be nice, but if he's within 12 inches of your enemy, you're probably already in trouble. So I would much rather have this on something that's like I want to get in melee, like a Saurus hero. This would be great on a Saurus hero, where you can pop this off to finish off something. It's only once per battle at the start of any phase. Man, I don't know. Yeah, not worth it. Not going with that one. We'll give it a C. Let's go to 4. This one is the good one. Number 4, it Dixie Grubs. I don't know how you say that. At the start of each hero phase, you heal 1 wound allocated to the bearer. Okay, whatever. In addition, in your hero phase, you can reroll 1 casting or dispelling roll for the bearer. In the enemy hero phase, you can reroll 1 unbinding roll for the bearer. So this is fun because now if you stack this with that command trait, you get another reroll. And so if this is fantastic as the command trait was, but you can all of a sudden have a Slann who is +2, +3 to cast, unbind, dispel, and he's re-rolling 2 of those. Now you've got a caster who is more powerful than Kroak, because Kroak can't get access to these re-rolls. This Slann will dominate the magic phase. Your phase, you're going to get off whatever spells you want, pretty much. The enemy phase, you're going to stop whatever spells you want. You know, is Teclis casting all his spells on 10s automatically? You're at +2. Just native from the War Scroll and the Sacred Asterisms, you've got a really good chance at rolling 9 on 2 dice. A lot better than you had before. And now you've got 2 different chances at that in if you double up on this. So I really like this one. I'm giving this one an A. I like this artifact. If I'm taking an artifact on my Slann, this is one I'm taking. Number 5. Plague of Dominion. In your hero phase, you pick 1 enemy hero within 12 of the bearer, invisible to them. Until your next hero phase, that hero fights at the end of the combat phase. In addition, that hero is a wizard until your next hero phase. Subtract 1 from casting, dispel, and unbinding rolls for that hero. Again, we've got something. Man, GW really wants us to send our Slanns into combat. No, thank you. Maybe I could see this one being good if you're playing for a defensive tank here. Like he's going to be stuck in with a horde of things. That hero's going to pile into my defensive unit and then stick around in my hero phase. I can apply this to him. I don't know. This is going to be so rare. I'm not going to take this ever. I'll give it maybe a C+. How about that? It does have some use, but it's so limited to when that will happen. Your enemy has to fall into that. Has to charge into something to make this be useful, I think. So no, I'm not gonna take that one. Number 6, Throne of the Lost Gods. Add 4 inches to the bear's move characteristics and 1 to the bear's wound characteristics. Man, I would love to have this on my source artifact chart. This would be so much fun on a source. We've kind of already got this on the Cloak of Feathers and Skinks, but I'm not ever going to take this on a Slann. Why would I want extra movement on my Slann? He's generally sitting in the back anyway. Extra 4 inches is nice. The extra wound is nice, but not going to be too critical. So I'll give that one a B. Extra movement's always nice. Extra wound, but so limited cases, I'm not really going to take that one all that often. So the real winner here is number 4 at Dixie Grubs. Get that extra reroll. Fantastic. Subfaction Artifacts. What do we got? Dracothian's Tail has Godbeast Pendant. The first time the bearer is slain, remove them from the battlefield. Roll the dice. On a 1 to 3, the bearer is slain. On a 4 to 6, the bearer is not slain. All wounds allocated to them are healed. Any wounds currently remain to be allocated to them are negated. This is our old incandescent retresses. So in Dracothian's Tail, it's pretty good, especially because your Slann has to stay alive to at least your first turn, so you can bring in all your reinforcements. So I like that one. It's pretty good. I wish I could get out of it, but if you have a Slann, he's gonna have to take that as the artifact. So not bad. I like it. Keeps him alive. Fangs of Sotek and Kotal's Claw, they're both melee weapon artifacts. So please put it on something else, because I don't know of a build where you can make a melee strong Slann. If there is one, let me know. Maybe I can reevaluate those artifacts, but no, I'm not taking either one of those. Thunder Lizard, Fusel of Conflagration. In your shooting phase, pick 1 enemy unit within 12 of the bear, invisible to them, and roll a dice. On a 1, the artifact cannot be used again for the rest of the battle. On a 2 to 3, nothing happens. On a 4 to 5, the enemy unit suffers D3 mortal wounds. On a 6, the enemy unit suffers D6 mortal wounds. A great artifact. I always forget to use mine, unfortunately, and sometimes I roll a 1 and it gets destroyed. But I'm putting this on something else in Thunder Lizards. It's going to be in close. It's going to be within 12 inches. Again, I don't want anybody within 12 inches of my Slann, or I'm probably in trouble at that point. So put that on something else, not your Slann. But you will have to take, if you want to get a different artifact in those subfactions, Dracothian Sailor, or Thunder Lizards, or Fangs of Sotek Total Skull, you're going to have to take a battalion so you can get an artifact on the Slann. Realm artifacts. I'm not going to go through each one of these. I don't think there's any in here that are too useful for our Slann. Maybe the one where you're, the Realm artifact from Ghyran where you're healing, but we've got a spell that can do that, so if you really need that extra heal, maybe you can double up that way. But again, you're probably not going to have, if somebody's putting a lot of focus on your Slann, he's probably dead anyway. So he's not super tough. If you take guard, then you probably don't need this extra heal anyway. Maybe the artifact from Shimon where you can reduce Ren by 1 could be useful. If you're keeping in the back, if you're popping his command point to give him extra saves and shooting, so it'll make him a little bit harder to shoot off the table, especially if you got Balewind on him. You know, it's ignoring -1 rend helps for a lot of things. There's more and more stuff nowadays that has -2 rend, but a lot has -1. So it could protect against that. But probably I'm not focused too much on that. So let's look at some Slann builds. My reroll for days Slann build. I like this one. I've had some fun with this one before. Arcane Might. You reroll 1 casting in your hero phase. A Tixie Grub. You're also rerolling another spell cast. So you've got those 2 rerolls. I've frustrated my son a lot, who takes Stormcast and the Everblaze Comet, and that thing used to be the bane of my existence when our games, because he would cast that comet and just nuke me every time. And when I take this, I can just about always stop it, because if I don't stop it on the first roll, I'm usually stopping it on the second roll on that reroll. And so it's really nice to shut off the enemy's casting and make sure you get your casting off. So I like that one. I like this combo to make my Slann incredibly powerful. The other one, I would just, I would take a support hero Slann and just give him that Great Rememberer. If I'm wanting to sit at the back of the board, cast that board-wide comet, and generate me command points, I might give him this one just to give me those extra command points throughout the game. You're going to average, 2 to 3 command points a game, so you'll make the points back in what you had spent on this artifact, I think. And so you're going to get those extra command points, which you can turn into very useful things, especially in things like Thunder Lizards, where I'm churning through command points like crazy. So I do like that as a support Slann, giving him that extra command point boost. So other than those 2 builds, I think I'm opting to put my artifacts and command traits on other things. I think there's some great synergies that you can find in Seraphon for use for our command traits and artifacts. You can see those in our last 2 videos on the Saurus and the Skink loadouts. But if you're running a Slann loadout, let me know what you're running. Let me know if you've got some secret tech that you're using for your Slann. Put it below in the comments. Let everybody know that how we can best run our Slann for those times when we're putting Kroak on the sidelines for a few games. So, all right, guys. Catch y'all on the next one.